Yeah. Good morning, teacher and classmate. Well, now we talk about the session 3, that is supporting company and adaptation to market change. Well, first I start about the trends in learning business. And well, I talk about this. I begin to say that the trends we offer are based in the data. Well, we can show, we can know that we talk about the fake crossing and approach. We research how to through smart people practitioner in the learning business, trade and professional associations, and training company. And also is the continuing the education programs at college and universities and solo and only the pays and the vendors and the consultation working with the asking about the trends and asking about the trends about the people and about the companies and also folding in our observations and thoughts based in our decades about the millennials of experience working with the learning business, and we arrived to a list of 15 areas and arrived to us about the broadly distributed and only survey, and we received responses from more than 2,000 organizations in the last years, and well, and also about the second infographic, the backdrop to the trend. While we believe these trends are important and instructive, it is worth looking at the blackboard for these trends and report that will continue to have an impact and shape the organization in the business of the lifelong and the learning.
Hi, I'm Alisson Trujillo Flores. I'm talking about three steps to adapt to COVID-19 situation. Number one, the step number one is keep an open age and take fast actions. Centralize decision making to avoid coordination issues while creating a bottom-up channel for timely information. Number two is track change, consumer behavior, and prepare to change plans and direction rapidly. Number two, step number two is take practice measures is along with official recommendation adapt business specific measures depending on your environment and working conditions. Number two is flexibility and adaptability. For example, many physical stores have switched to new business models like store sales, change to home delivery, and the use of digital platforms has increased. Step number three is innovate. Amid these conditions, is good for business to innovate in all aspects of them, whether temporary solutions for temporary consumer needs or new trends that emerge as a result of changing consumer habits and needs. Innovation can also be along all the supply chain.
Hi, my name is Mili Carasas. Well, we have here two news about session 3, which is the first is Nike and the other is Yogi Plaza. First, about Nike, this is a new store concept for a digital transformation. This will help improve the store's commercial quality and its economic focus. Also, the purpose of this new business method is to relate it to the current experience in the business world, and also to help people more with a new kind of methods to get new things. This is a new strategy for people too. About the other, Yogi Plaza is a famous store, a big commercial store with different kind of stores and have the opportunity for people to get new kind of things. And also, this is a store with a strategy that the shopping center is reactive, and also brands of different categories such as men's and women's clothing, footwear, optics, sports, and about children's too, beauty, among others. And also, they can get a 50% discount in different kind of store. This is a new ability for the big commercial to get a different kind of sales and also increase the sales. Okay,
Yeah.
now we're going to continue with the session 5, which is an unbalanced global economy, the path to crisis. Okay, here we have two key points, which is developed countries and trade war. First, we're going to talk about trade war, which is a nation imposes a tariff or quotas on imports foreign countries. Here we have an image that is the concept in general about this. And also we have developed countries, which is the purpose of development is a rise in the level and quality of life of the population. Here we have different kind of key points, which is literacy rate, education, healthcare system, subsistence farming, commercial farming, rural and urban. And also we have two personnel that I consider which is both important to mention, which is developed country and developing country, that are relatively similar, but they have some difference. For example, developed country, we have rich, non-industrial, good roads, transportation, high energy, also oil, coal, nuclear, and others. Also, for example, we talk about developing country, we have poor, soft, agricultural, and others. They are considered also important too because nowadays we have different kind of problems about it. It was, it is important to mention. Yeah.
Well, now we talk about a news. Well, first I talk about the news that is the title is the sovereign debt problem persists in the prefectural Europe. Well, I talk about this because I know that it's very important about the in the world, and this problem persists sovereign debt problem, and in federal Europe after the European Union and the International Monetary Fund rescue in the grace and Ireland and the Portugal, and also apply to international aid when borrowing costs in the financial market become the prohibited. These three countries received great packages and financial equivalent to, for example, the 45% of the GDP, and that is the gross domestic product, are necessary as to cover the financial needs of their government for 3 years. However, after these past summers, investors become increasingly concerned once more for the ability that Italy and Spain have to pay their sovereign debts. And these economics are considered the tiers of the four economics in the Eurozone, we know, and are repeatedly as concerned about the fiscal sustainable of the in this country, where financial market became more volatile and while the affect stock price and took much for more. And the next new is the civil unrest and natural disaster cause a concern in the world economic. Well, civil unrest and natural disaster cause concern in the world economic. Well, first we know that Japan is the world that has suffered many problems, and one of them is the Middle Eastern and the North of Africa is um is a region that has a crucial role as a supplier of oil. As consequently, concern about the source or place made it rise rapidly, and at the same time the price of the many other products, including those of the agricultural area, including similar rice and their price level. And see graph, both food and gasoline became significantly more expensive, and included inflations and pressure and reducing spending of the consumer in the luxury product.
Other new is coronavirus leaves strong problems in developing countries. According to the World Bank, an average country in emerging countries suffering from a financial crisis could have a drop in its production of 80% for 5 years. Low interest rates in the past decade contributed to a record rise in sovereign and corporate debt in emerging markets, limiting the authorities' ability to respond to the crisis and avoid business closing, job losses, and deterioration of human capital. Finally, MSCI evaluates removing Argentina from emerging market indices. In 2018, Argentina received the news that the manufacturer of stock indices MSCI included it in its emerging markets category, opening the door to foreign capital. Because the country has gone through many economic problems in the last 2 years, and they have caused restriction on investors to access the Argentina stock market due to capital controls imposed in September of last year. Yes.
Okay, now we're going to talk about station 40, the search for sustainability.
This is main points that we mentioned. Number one is barriers. According to Global Scan in their inquiry to average of 25 countries, some barriers to improving lifestyle to be more healthy and sustainable are too expensive, not enough government support, not enough business support, I'm not sure how, I like the way I live now, etc. Other point is climate mitigation. We have just 10 years to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions and keep global warming to 1.5 centigrade. This trend promotes reducing these gases and using renewable energy with the help of companies, reducing their impact of the environment and thus generating a responsible image for the community. Other point is battery technology breakthroughs. These trends of low carbon energy has transformed the market. This allows companies to include them in their value chain and thus reduce their impact on the environment and make them more competitive. Finally, a changed climate. Over the years, the planet undergoes many climate changes, which also affects the business world, and they must be to prepared to constantly adapt. With the help of the state and with an adequate prevention system, it will allow them to face this situation and avoid cost overruns.
Well, and the circular solutions is that present as a system of the use of resources where the reduction of the elements prevails, reducing productions to the minimum necessary, and when it's necessary to make the use of the products element that due to their properties cannot return to the environment, and also the plastic translating awareness into solutions. The failure of the volunteers has motivated numerous government to issue regulations of the mandatory compliance that in the last years the decrease is consumption by 9%. In turn, Taiwan doesn't not allow to supermarket their free supplies, and in the UK, it has it has been proposed to ban them. And over the past years, there has been a growing movement to to limit it to use it as cities in the United States, such as San Francisco and Boston, Baltimore, and the New York City. And later, we imposes on all the department store and retail change the obligations to collect and recycle in the same time. And about the sustainable consumptions, our consumption decision will have an impact on the human ways of the life of the future. The notion of the sustainable consumption refers to the most of the goods and the service to the not harm environment or society. Learning a sustainable lifestyle is a part of most important to eradicate poverty and preserve and protect the set of the educations and the development promotes responsibly the effects of the consumption and the habits and the lifestyle or the society and the resource.
Okay, we have some examples or news. Well, international trade is mentioned as a facilitator and catalyst, a powerful tool to advance sustainable development, agent in general, as well as environmental sustainability and social in particular. In the macro, international trade can contribute to the creation of quality jobs and the increase in productivity in Latin America. Also, collaborating with the reduction of poverty and inequality. Companies have a relevant role both in employment decisions and in other aspects social linked to the production, marketing, and consumption of goods and services. In the micro level, concerns about knowing and improving the social and environmental impact of the production and marketing of goods and services. We have now two news about dogs and Kellogg. Dogs, well, the restaurant chain has various social intervention programs in partnership with Foundation Reintegra to support young people with screen printing workshops and gardening project to employment there. And about Kellogg, well, this is a company that is committed to the nutrition of communities, especially children. Its main nutrition program, Breakfast for Better Day, to try to help people and also to help the world too.
Well, in the conclusion of this topic that we talk, well, in my conclusion, I think that we know the crisis that we passing over the world, and we need to see about the problems, and we need to know about the healthy styles, and we need to know about the recycling. We need to know about the we need to enfold to that problem and solve about them.
Okay, other conclusion is regarding the commercial world, we have different methods and strategies that companies live day by day to adapt to international business. In addition, we have different problems that we must face with attractive and strategic methods.